BookTube. This is Breckie from Breckie Writes, and this is Breckie Reads. It's time for Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesdays were started by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey, and I will link her channel in the description below. This week's Top 5 Wednesday is Top 5 Buzzwords. Number 5 is magic and magic systems. I am a sucker for a magic novel. Maybe it's because I grew up on Harry Potter. I really love it when books use magic in a really smart way. I particularly like the All Souls trilogy in the use of magic in Diana Bishop's life, and I really love the use of charter magic in the Sabriel books by Garth Nix. They are so good. So a really smart use of magic, a magic system that isn't just sort of willy-nilly but is really well thought out, that is totally in my wheelhouse, and I will pick up just like any book with smart magic in it. I love it. Number 4 are accidental time travelers. So I like time traveling, like that is just a thing I really enjoy, but I prefer accidental time travelers. Like when the person who does the time traveling isn't intending to do the time traveling, or someone in the group of people doing the time traveling isn't intending to time travel. This is done really well in Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Just the fact that like Claire all of a sudden is in like 1745 and has no idea what's going on and has to sort of sort it out. She isn't intending to time travel, and that kind of makes it more fun. I totally love that. That is one of my favorite uses of a time traveling trope. Number 3 are books about books, or books about bookstores or libraries or schools. I just love the idea that inside a book you can celebrate literature or you can celebrate the act of learning, and that those are great places to set stories. So like books within books is totally in my wheelhouse, and books about bookstores or libraries or people who work in those places or schools like the Harry Potter series and the Magisterium series are totally in my wheelhouse. Like I will always pick those up. This is one of the few tropes that sort of translates across genres. I tend to read a lot of fantasy. That's my total love. I love YA fantasy and fantasy in general. But books about bookstores like The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery are the kinds of books that I can read contemporary works of and know that I will just love them. Number 2, alternative histories. I dig alternative histories. I think it's because my first love in life was historical fiction, and then I kind of got into fantasy, but I love me some alternative histories. Like, what if the American colonies never rebelled and we were still part of the British Empire? Or what if the South won the Civil War? Or what if we'd never had slavery in the New World? Like, I love the idea of exploring these other possible worlds that could have happened had one thing in history changed. I'm really looking forward to Wolf by Ryan Grodin, which is an alternative history if the Axis powers won in the Second World War and Hitler was like hosting this motorcycle race and you could enter to win, and if you won you got to meet Hitler. And in this book the like premise is that a girl enters the race because she wants to kill Hitler. Like that to me is so fascinating. So I love alt histories. And my number 1 favorite buzzword, retellings. Fairy tale retellings particularly. I am such a sucker for fairy tale retellings, particularly Beauty and the Beast. So these are like my collection of fairy tales that I own, and they all just fell down. That's bad. I really love fairy tales. Like most people, I grew up with Disney and I grew up with Grimm's fairy tales, and my dad had a collection of Norwegian folk tales that he read to me when I was a child. I think that they are so fun and so fascinating, and I think it's amazing how writers can retell a story that is so familiar and make it new and fresh. And if it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, I don't care if it's terrible, I will read it because that is my favorite. It is my favorite. I don't even know what's wrong with me, but I just can't get enough. Give me all the Beauty and the Beast retellings. That is my wheelhouse, Beauty and the Beast. If there could be like time travel and a library and Beauty and the Beast in like one book, it would be for me. What are your top 5 buzzwords? What are the things that would get you to pick up a book that you've never heard of before? Or do you guys have recommendations for books that have these buzzwords in them? Books about accidental time travel or Beauty and the Beast? Any of them, please leave them in the comments below. Bye!